In a world where gaming is everything, welcome to the Extreme Gaming Podcast.
Yes, hello, welcome to Extreme Gaming Podcast. I am Trev, honestly. You can't see me, you just have to take my word for it right this moment. Episode 266, February the 6th. And also joining me today are my fine fellow friends. Please introduce yourself, lads.
Great Gamer 25 here as usual, and we're gonna a lot of stuff to cover, and then fun and games and tangents and other things.
Tangents? Oh, we're always on tangents,
Oh,
man.
Maddie froze.
I am frozen in time.
Nice! Love it, man. Love it.
I have run out of battery power. I need charging. I am the new AI.
This is
This
hilarious.
is great. I see no.
They call me
Trev.
Skipnet.
You're frozen. I'm the only one moving.
Oh my god. So, yeah, let's...
It's at this point we know Trev messed up.
It's at this point we know we should pre-record.
Yeah, well, we know Trev should maybe,
Says Matt, who's frozen right now.
That's not my fault.
Yeah.
It was Matt. You froze last time, but then you went off, and then you came back, and then it was fine or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Anyway, right.
Yeah,
So now,
you're back.
You're back. Anyway, no, we'll get it fixed in a moment. Don't worry.
You might want to pause
yes.
the uploads too when you get around to it.
Of course. Yeah,
Just saving
so
you the views there.
please join the Discord as always. You want to talk gaming hardware with us, anything and everything. You want to
Technical
talk
issues,
about
new
I
PC
don't know,
cases.
anything. You want to talk about Matt and he's freezing all the time. We can do that.
Yeah.
Sure.
No facial Trev.
No facial
No,
shred.
I'm just not going there. Not going there. Yeah, we're at discord.gg/Extreme Gaming Podcast. You can come and ask us questions there for the podcast if you want. And you can be in. I don't need to say your name if you don't want to.
I really like your announcement about Windows 11 there.
Windows 11.
I'm doing
is
it back to front,
trash.
mate. You spoiled it. See, the thing is with Gray is he spoils things. He doesn't
I didn't
believe
say what
in
it was.
spoiler free. Even though I done it in the wrong orders, because it's got more impact if the last announcement you say Windows 11 can suck my balls,
Yeah.
or say it in the way Cartman would say it. Take my balls.
You killed
Take my
Kenny.
balls, hell.
Yeah, that's because of the problems we're having, me mostly, and you just witnessed them firsthand. If you're an audio podcast, then you're like, what's the problem? No drama.
Just out of curiosity, Trev, did you download the new NVIDIA broadcast?
Yes, there's the problem, my friend.
Really?
Because
There's the
it's
problem.
working really well for me and Matt.
Well, me, for once.
Well, it wouldn't let me pick the background we normally have until I exited the app and went back in. And then there's the problem, see? So it's not quite fixed yet. The new NVIDIA broadcast software looks on paper at least mostly great. And I look forward to trying it out more. But for the moment, it's causing me enough problems. But I'll fix it in a moment when Gray talks about his hardware news.
His bits.
Anyway, socials. Don't forget the socials. Our main ones, of course, the YouTubes. Extreme Gaming Podcast, Facebook, Extreme Gaming Podcast, TikTok, Extreme Gaming Podcast. We put the pod out there, by the way.
Except for
Cut
the
it in
US.
half at the end of this. Put it in 2 parts so that you don't need to watch us in one go. I know 2 hours of Mac can be a lot, so you
It's
can
a
break
lot.
it down to
10 minutes of me is a lot.
But not in the US.
I know.
still.
That's what your missus said, mate.
She does.
Yeah,
she does.
yeah.
So she says.
And Twitter X. I heard someone call it the other day. Extreme Podcast. Right, great. While I attempt to fix my visual issues, please kick us off with some interesting hardware tech news, which I'm also intrigued to hear about.
Okay. This has been something that the three of us have been messing with and reading about and trying and et cetera, et cetera. Everybody, I guess, should know if they listen to our podcast, but I'll reiterate, is that NVIDIA came out with multi-frame generation, where the 50 series cards can now generate 3 extra frames for a total of 4, meaning 4x. So it makes everything a lot smoother. It can mess latency up just a little bit and stuff, but nothing awful, terrible. So everybody was going like, wow, multi-frame generation, cool, 50 card. And then everybody that has a 40 series card, like me and Trev and whatnot, we're like, hello, what about us? So apparently NVIDIA decided to backtrack it and make it work for the Series 4 cards. But one caveat, the multi-frame 4X, 4 frames total, will only work with the 50 card. It will not work with the 40 cards.
40 series.
Now the 40 cards will multi-frame Gen 1 frame, so 2x, a real one and a generated, but it will not go up to 4x like the 50 does. Now, I keep hearing rumors that they're supposed to be coming out with multi-frame generation 4x for the 40 series cards, but I haven't heard anything yet about this. So one of the things that I wanted to do is we had mentioned once or twice in the program about lossless scaling. That software has been out for quite a while, and it costs like $7 on Steam. So instead of spending thousands on a 50 series card, if you have no intention to, because we don't, you can mess around with lossless scaling. So my appreciation goes out to Maggle from Hell or Esmeralda or whatever he's calling himself. And we got together, and he had banged it out for like hours and tested it out in a couple different games. And then he got a hold of me to give me a quick primer on how it works. It really isn't that involved. It's not super difficult to do, but there's a couple things. And so I decided to try it to see if I could get the full 2, 3, or 4x that I can't get with NVIDIA. So I ended up playing Horizon Forbidden West. I think I played a couple other games because I wanted to see what the variety was. And sure enough, I was getting the 4x, 2x, 3x, 4x, no problem. When I was in Horizon, I purposely was janking the camera all over the place just to see if I could see something or artifacting happening. So I went to the beach, look at the water, and watch the waves come in, because a lot of times when the wave comes in, you can see the artifacting around the waves. So I started looking at that on 2x, 3x, 4x. When I went to 4x, I could see a little bit of artifacting. It wasn't much at all, though, guys. I mean, you really had to just sit there and like stare at it and go like, yeah, I see it. But for gameplay, holy moly, was it smooth. I was doing 240 frames a second on 4x.
Nice.
And I was loving it. I'm running all over the place and shooting mechanical dinosaurs and stuff. And
Question for you, Gray. How many X do you need for to notice any kind of noticeable improvement, or at least maintaining the same quality of the, considering you're down at the beach, the jiggle physics?
I mean, on the what physics? Sorry. Jiggle physics is what you're talking about? Unfortunately, in Horizon, there isn't any of that, so I can't really tell. No, there's not really.
Is Aloy not in that, man? That's hopeless.
Can I tell you? They want to be a little. Well, I won't use the word, but anyway.
Yeah.
But what I did see was that even in 2x, it was a definite improvement, going from 60 to 120. And like I was telling Matt, that I didn't even notice artifacting until I got to 4x, and it really was very, very minor. And you had to really look for it. I mean, look around the frame and look at some of the water effects. Look at some of the foliage really closely, and maybe you might see a little. But geez, for just really great gameplay, it's a $7 piece of software, and it's been improved, and they've been upgrading it, and they haven't charged anything for any of the new features and things they put in it. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't care if I ever get a 50 series card as far as multi-frame gen goes, because Lossless will frame gen for any game. So you can't, NVIDIA makes a big deal about talking about, hey, we got multi-frame gen in about 75 games now. Well, Lossless has them on all of them. What's that, thousands?
I'm still to buy that software, Gray. I'm still to buy it, mate. I need to get around to it because, like you say, we're not buying a 5,000 series cards, and we'll get to that.
Yep, I told them.
Yeah, mate.
Well, when you go to do that, I'll help you out, because I did put together this video. I'm going to probably edit it way down, and it's kind of like a little tutorial on how to do it. The what?
Is it a ball ache?
Is it a ball ache? No. No one's looking at my balls. What are you talking about?
It's not like hard to set up or anything.
Is it not a ball ache?
I heard. No, it's not really. I mean, there's a little bit involved, but it really isn't much at all. I would say that I'm not going to say a novice tech would know what to do, but somebody that has at least some skill could do it easily. And with a video, which they do have videos on YouTube, so you can just go ahead and Google it or whatever, and follow along what they tell you, and you could probably do the same thing. But it works wonderful, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. And as Trev said, and we'll talk about in a bit, we have no plans of getting a 50 series card, especially Trev, I guess. And in light of that, we can still get the multi-frame generation. And when they do backward compatible, if you want to call that, some of the DLSS 4 features to the 40 series card, we'll get those, and that's fine, But on multi-frame, you ain't getting it unless NVIDIA decides to let you have it, if they can do it. do it.
While
but
I
for
was
now,
while I was
Lossless is
fixing
great.
my video issues, can you tell me if you've done any analysis besides just comparing it to DLSS 3.5 or 7 that we're on at the moment, and then trying it with lossless scaling both together, and then trying them both separately just to see what's what?
Again, since I can't get more than 2x frame gen, obviously lossless wins in that category.
Yeah.
But in turning some of the features off and on, I'm not noticing any. You can turn some of the features on. Some of them, one or two things are better off than on. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head right now. But nothing to really be concerned about whatsoever. It just does its job and gives you the frames, which is really nice. I mean, it's really smooth. And when I started like moving really fast with the mouse, I mean, it was beautiful. There was no streaking. There was nothing. No
Even
blurring.
with your old peepers, though, maybe it's just the old peepers didn't notice them. Maybe they were there.
If I noticed 8-bit games right away, I can notice anything else.
hey! In all seriousness, there is subtle differences, right? Okay, I'm being a bit facetious, of course I am, but look at the guys at Digital Foundry, right?
Yeah.
I love those guys at Digital Foundry.
Oh yeah,
the work they do
great.
is amazing, and it's an ideal dream job to do actually. But I never thought that one, so kudos to them. When they analyze it, they go into the minutiae of it, man.
Yeah.
And that's why they notice it. None of us would notice it really, unless it was really bad. I think.
Or pointed out.
Well,
to
again,
us
to come down to normal gamers, and we talk out there to the techies and the normal gamers on this podcast. So they always say the same thing. If you're really, really hardcore tech and you're looking for the minuscule things to be there, okay, so maybe you're going to spot some of this out. But generally speaking, the vast majority, is going to have fun using it and not really overly concerned about some stuff. It's just not. If it was bad, you would know it was bad. Even a novice might know it was bad, but it's not. I'm very impressed, and they keep improving the software too and updating it all the time. But I mean, when you're talking $7 versus thousands, that's okay. I'll go with the $7. No problem.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm not going to complain for that price. That's a really, really cheap price at the end of the day. You can't really go wrong. And I think it is a bit of an unfair comparison to try comparing it to DLSS 4.0 because it's using hardware to make itself pretty superior. And it's also a massive shortage of these cars at the moment as well. So it is a bit of an unfair comparison. Lossless scaling should be commended actually for how good it is because it is closer to FSR. Maybe not FSR 4.0 because it's going to rely on the hardware, but previous generations it's comparable. So I don't think you'd ever run the two together. I think that'd be madness, in my opinion. I think things would. It's like Matt knows what diluting juice is. Living in the UK, you might not know what it is. I guess you'd call it cordial.
Cordial.
So you keep putting water and water and water, and before you know it, it's just going to be really, really weak and a bit crap. So, I think I'm going to buy that after. Remind me, Gray, if I forget. I've got to buy that software, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to follow the tutorials as well. I saw one of your YouTubes that you put in about the tutorial. I think it took a few minutes. I just put it back down and went, nah, I'll do it next time. Sort of thing. So
I was kind of doing that originally, and then finally I just said, you know what, I just got to gut this out and see what's going on.
Yeah.
But since Esmeralda or whatever went ahead and spent the hours messing with it, I told him, I said, well, you're going to mess with it, let me know and we'll talk. So we did. And that's why I made the little video. I got to edit it because there's a lot of crap in between.
Yeah. Awesome. When that comes out, it'd be a lot.
Once I got the hang of it, it was just like, okay, here, click, and that's it.
Yeah.
And,
cool.
and you're rolling. But
hey, Mercy.
Definitely worth it.
How you doing, my man? How you doing? It's nice for you to drop in.
Good evening.
Did you already, Gray, cover the 4000 series cards and maybe coming to that? No.
Yep, pretty much.
We did, yeah. So this is what
Yeah.
happens when you have to dive off for a minute to come back on to fix your bloody stream. I actually was concerned. It came up to a warning message. Are you sure you want to do this? Twice. I'm like, am I going to bring down the whole stream? Screw it. I'm pressing the red button. And that's what happened. Yeah.
Luckily, it didn't bring down everything. We're good.
No, thank God for that. So, no, we now know I've tested it live, so we're all good. I've noticed, though, this headset I'm using, if you look carefully,
Yeah, what is that one?
it's like looking through the Stargate. You can peer through my soul
yeah,
and actually
yeah.
see what's
Look at that.
really behind.
Lots of fogginess.
It's another
Yeah,
dimension.
no, that's just that's in between my ears, Matt. I think you're looking at the wrong way. Right, okay. So I've got some interesting news, both good and bad. Let's start off with the negatives and then try and go more positive at the end. Ubisoft, Gray, your old
Yes.
pals at Ubisoft, the rinse and repeat, copy paste guys.
No,
And
stop
at
it.
it again, they are now
having
going to
problems.
sack. Oh, sorry,
Look.
lay off. This
Yeah, I
is
know.
brackets, people. Sack 185 people
Yep.
as it closes former DJ Hero studio and downsizes others.
I used to play that years ago.
I
Well, they-
remember the title, Matt.
Yeah.
I think if I remember correctly, they tossed everybody off the what was it, the Dragon Age project?
Lucky buggers.
Or wasn't it? Or no, that's a different one. Sorry, that's Bethesda. They just dumped
Mhm.
everybody too.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It will basically close their branch, at least in Leamington, which is in Ingerland, and also make some cuts in their Dusseldorf, Stockholm branches as well. The statement from Ubisoft says, as part of our, we'll need to get some EGP cups. Gray one,
Yeah,
right? He's holding up
thinking about that.
his
I gotta
Star Trek
redo 'em.
cup. As part of our ongoing efforts to prioritise projects and reduce costs that ensure long-term stability at Ubisoft, we have announced targeted reconstructions at Ubisoft Dusseldorf, Stockholm, and Ubisoft Reflections, whatever the hell they are, and the permanent closure of Ubisoft Leamington site. Unfortunately, this should impact 185 employees overall. We are deeply grateful for their contributions and committed to supporting them throughout this transition. Yeah, I mean, let's start with Gray. Rumors are he is one of only a handful of people keeping Ubisoft going at this moment.
Yeah. Single-handedly.
That's right.
Yeah.
On one side of the coin,
Giving them all cookies and Smarties
there
to
you
keep
go.
them going.
Please stay. I like how
Yeah.
I like how they say. I mean, I know they're trying to handle it daintily, but they're sitting there going like, "Well, we loved your contributions and everything was great, and we love you and you did such a great job. But get the hell out of here. We ain't paying you anymore."
It's not
That
good,
is
mate, is it?
ridiculous.
It's the restructuring continues because we've covered this quite a few times, haven't we?
Well, yeah.
And we do take the piss, but people's jobs are at stake here, and we don't like to see people in an industry that we love lose their jobs, and it'll happen more and more, especially because Ubisoft, the mess they're in, and a lot of it's their own doing. We can't just blame this on bad luck because other studios have had the same kind of industry bad luck and managed to get by without this kind of impact.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I
agree with that.
All the smaller devs are loving this. Not that they want to see people lose their jobs or whatever, but they're loving this in respects that they're getting more notice than ever because they're putting together great games with tiny
they're getting
tiny
their
amount of
time,
people.
isn't it?
I mean, I'm glad for that. I mean, I think it's good that the AAAs in a way got taken down a peg or two, so that you can actually see some of the people that make like Enshrouded, which we'll talk about in a bit, and so forth, and other games too that I'm not mentioning. So Sumo Digital are laying off people too.
Yeah, Mercian says.
Well,
yeah,
Bethesda,
I
like I said,
well.
Bethesda just dropped everybody from Dragon Age Veilguard, which did not do as well as they wanted it to. So they're all gone, and they use the excuse like, I love this one. They said, well, it's common that when you finish a game that, it's time to lay off some people that were working on the game. Yeah, some people, not all of them.
Yeah.
So it's just
Matt?
hey.
Matt, what's your opinion on this? I'm curious.
Ubisoft? No, I'm not actually. Not surprised at all. I thought I was hoping that it wouldn't be that high of a number.
Yeah.
Maybe just at the 100 at the max throughout all of their facilities. But as we said from day one, it's their own doing, their own making. They've hashed quite a few games. They've annoyed a lot of people. through that. So yeah, pretty much, you get what you give, pretty much.
You reap what you sow.
Absolutely, there you go.
And the Guillemot, I think that's how you pronounce it because they're French. The Guillemot family own 14% of Ubisoft. That is so small, and yet I think they're the majority shareholder. And Tencent, the Chinese company, own 9.99%. So they're the two biggest shareholders. That's why they were doing all this restructuring and maybe trying to sell off some of the franchises while holding overall control. So, I mean, their main franchise, Assassin's Creed, is delayed. We don't have a release date. I don't think it's
March
like March,
20th.
April.
March 20th.
March 20th, right. Let's hope that sticks. They delayed that for a few months because they knew they had to have that 100% kosher. Otherwise, they'd fail. But that's a double-edged sword because you delay that. I mean, it was going to come out for the holiday period, right? That would have been a nice earner for them.
I was waiting for
it. They weighed it up and went, right, okay, we could release it now and we'll be okay, like money-wise, because that'll earn us a lot of pennies from, like, all the greys out there. Or we could delay it for a few months, not have those pennies, and then we'll see what happens. So I think, guys, they were making buttons down there and it wasn't polished. I'm not going to say it was a mess, but I reckon they thought, there's some bugs here, and if we release this just now, people will be pissed. So, Division 3 coming, Mercian says? I don't know.
I had read that. Division 3, I don't think that's going to be happening ever.
I mean,
they were
2027
for Division 3.
No one's announced it. Because that's kidding me. The state they're in.
So... by Massive Entertainment.
Is it been sold on? Is this Rumorville or
sold off, or are they just working in conjunction with?
Probably in conjunction, I think it was last time.
But you know what? Despite all that, I'll believe it when I see it, because I don't think Ubisoft is very serious about Assassin's Creed because that's their biggest IP. So as far as the shareholders are concerned,
it's the only thing keeping them going.
Right. As far as the shareholders are concerned, that's what they want to see, and that's what they're putting all their efforts into. So I don't really think we're going to see some of these other things that we wanted to see.
No, I mean, they closed down the last, was it the free one that they were going to do?
Didn't
they?
And there was a mobile. There's a mobile game as well.
Yeah,
I think they killed the mobile and they killed the.
Did they kill the mobile version?
Heartland,
it was only available in China at one point.
Either way.
I mean, you obviously get Far Cry as well. Far Cry's probably arguably the second biggest franchise, but I don't even know if they're working on one of them. Hopefully, to God, they're not working on another Star Wars game.
God knows, they already messed that up. That's the end of that.
I want to get to some gaming Star Wars news in a moment, actually, which is interesting. In fact,
at the Resi.
I'll be doing it now, actually. I'll be doing it in un momento. I found this interesting because I haven't played it in a little while, but basically Destiny 2, these guys at Bungie have been going for quite a while, and they're trying to bring out new content while keeping it interesting at the same time. And they are bringing out a collab with LucasArts, Disney, and it's Star Wars. Disney, I guess it is Disney. Destiny 2 and Star Wars are going to be a thing. Now, I know that sounds a bit bizarre to some people, and if I've been honest, it kind of is a little bit. What I'll do is
but they're doing more of a character thing, right?
No, of course.
RPG
there's a bunch. And truth be told, there's actually a bunch of things they're doing. And it's a money earner. They're going to bring out like skins, and it's not like DLC as such. You normally pay quite a bit of money for a bit of DLC. This way, they're basically doing what Fortnite are doing. Everyone's using that model because it's popular. There you go, peoples. It is basically a way for Sony to get some of that money back that they paid for Bungie.
One way or the
other. Right, so for those that are listening, I'll kind of describe it a little bit as well. Basically, a lot of the skins have got Star Wars variants to them. The Guardians have a few different ones. I'm not a massive Star Wars person, but you've obviously got the Stormtrooper there. You've got the Stormtrooper with the black outfit. Star Wars fans,
Death Trooper.
Death Trooper, and then the geezer in red. I don't know who he is, but
Imperial Guard.
There you go. Thank you, Matt. See, it's handy having a Star Wars fan on.
Yeah,
definitely handy. I think their in-game currency is called silver, and I think each of these skins. Now, they will do packages where you can get them together, but each of these skins are either 800 or 1,000 silver. And then basically 1,000 silver is about $20. So
$20?
Yeah, it's not the cheapest, mate.
They're definitely pirates. They are.
They can keep the 20.
Them can keep it.
It's not the cheapest, but I mean, right. Basically, you cherry pick what you want. I'm not much a Star Wars fan, but there's some things I would probably pick. For example, I would love the Ghost from Destiny, the little. For those that don't know Destiny, the little bloody floaty robot thing,
floating
that you've
droid
got.
thing or whatever.
Yeah, it's called a Ghost, and you've got many skins that you can get in game. A lot free, a lot of them you earn as you go along, and some you pay for. And one of them is a Death Star, a mini Death Star. I mean, that's cool. I'm sorry, that's just bloody amazing. And then the Sparrows, which is basically the equivalent of, what do they call them in Star Wars, Matt? The little the cruiser things that hover.
Spaceship.
No speeders, or do you mean like the bike things?
The bike things.
Speed bikes.
Speed bikes,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I had LucasArts on the phone there. They were saying your membership to Star Wars was in jeopardy there if you hadn't answered that one.
Yeah.
I would only get a couple of skins. The Sparrows, I wouldn't get that one because I'm sorry, they look very, very different. They're not Star Wars-esque. I'm sorry, they already done the floating thing. They already done the speeding thing. Rip off. Although obviously to have a Stormtrooper would be cool. Don't get me wrong, that could be a one, and the lightsaber as well could be a good one. But you know, they're out at the moment, so I'll maybe go and have a little nosy because I do like Destiny and I haven't played it in a little while. Question for Gray though, this probably won't happen.
Yes.
Because while the more popular franchise is Star Wars, we all know the better franchise is Star Trek. Don't we, Gray? So, I would love
a different franchise.
No, I'm going to alienate people. I don't care. People
one's fantasy and one's more science fiction, so you know.
That's true. One is science fiction and one is fantasy.
Right.
100%. Star Wars is fantasy. Star Wars is fantasy, mate.
Teleportation.
I mean, come on. There's a you watch this. The Star Trek is based on theory.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying
a lot of theory.
That is true. That is true. I'll give you that. A lot.
Very wet. Vague in theory.
Most of the new Trek though is based on bad theory, but that's another
that's
story.
terrible.
No, that's based on bullshit. That's a different division of science.
That's called Star Trek. That's not Star Trek. They just misspelt it.
Starring Alex Kurtzman. No, great. If you could get skins for Star Trek, you'd be up for that, wouldn't you? Like imagine instead of a Sparrow. Well, actually, you can't get Sparrows in Star Trek, I don't think, but you can get ships, and in Destiny you've got also ships as well. You've got the TIE Fighter, and then the one that Darth Vader goes in. But I can't say I don't know much about Star Wars. I'm sorry, people.
Star Destroyer,
X-wing, not X-wing. The
X-wing's on the rebel side.
Yeah. Come on, help me out, Matt.
Well, he has
Darth Vader,
Star Destroyer.
No, he's many one.
The Star Destroyer is that big
TIE Defender
black
thing.
ship.
TIE Defender. That's it. I'm pretty sure of that. Everyone's going to be hating me, but I've never been a massive Star Wars fan. I watch a new movie or a series once, I move on, never come back. No, you get the TIE Fighter there, but can you imagine if it was Star Trek and you got, instead of
I'd spend the $20,
you got an Enterprise or something. Then you pay the $20.
Yeah, I'll do the 20. I'll do the 20 then.
Yes,
I want the Enterprise ear the Defiance so I can wipe the floor with everybody.
It's a skin, mate. It's not a power up. It's not pay to win. That's the whole bloody point, you idiot.
Well, yeah, but what I would do is I'd call them up and I go like, listen, I'll give you $40 if you do the power level
pay
thing.
To win, man. Oh my god, you dirty pirate.
Add a bit of Kirk voices in there and Khan.
Yeah, there you go. Let's get the voices in there. That'd be great.
There you go.
Flying around the ship going, Khan.
Yeah.
Merchant saying he wish you could get into D2. Listen, it's one of these games that it's a really big game to get into. So if you haven't started, don't. But I think it was Scythe that posted something in the Discord earlier on. Humble Bundle, well known, love them. They do great deals, give a lot of their money to the money they make to charity.
Mm-hmm.
They are doing a massive bundle of every single Destiny 2 add-on with Destiny 2 is free anyway. But every DLC for like $24
Even
something.
the new one?
Phenomenal.
The brand new one?
Yes, even the new one. $24,
Really?
mate.
They used to do good game packages back in the day.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, but you're limited, man. They can only work with the keys that devs will give them. You know, it's a difficult one. But yeah, so I won't spend too much time on that one. There is a small update out for Destiny 2 with some new content as well. Contest mode even, which is tougher enemies and weaker guardian damage. But I'll move on from that. Won't spend a hell of a lot more time on that one. I just wanted to show you the skins because
wait, one quick thing. Mercian mentioned about Ghost Recon, and Mercian, I did see an article that they. I'm not going to sit there and say how true it is, but they said they are working on another Ghost Recon. Now, again, I take that with a grain of salt because I don't know if that's going to actually happen. But apparently, it's from some reliable sources because people hack into data backgrounds and they find this stuff. But if you want to believe it, then let's see. I don't know.
Yeah, they're saying something about 25, 26 release.
Yeah.
I hope so. I
hope so too, because Ghost Recon's a nice IP as well. So we'll see.
Well, with sacking all these people, it's going to be bloody difficult, isn't it? So
exactly.
We'll see. Anyway, so moving on. Like I say, we start with the kind of negative stuff and try and move on to positive stuff. We've got Electronic Arts, EA, confirming a new Battlefield game. Not really a surprise there. What is also not a surprise is how long it's been in between Battlefield games. I think by the time the new one comes out, it'll be 3 or 4 years. They used to alternate every second year and not do a COD because they basically wanted to polish a game a bit more than. I mean, EA don't probably have the money that Microsoft, Activision do to like churn out a COD game every year. We discussed how much COD games cost in previous podcasts.
Yep.
So EA being rich and all that are not quite that rich. So they spend 2 years to polish a game. They showed a little announcement video of the new game, which I believe is still untitled. And unofficially, they're calling this studio that's working on it Battlefield Studios, but we all really know them as DICE, the gods, the heroes of beautiful-looking multiplayer games. They are mostly based in Sweden, but they'll be dealing with the multiplayer element. With Motive, I've not heard of Motive, working on multiplayer maps as well as single-player missions. And then Criterion, who I have heard of, is mainly focused on the single player because Battlefield was at 2042, didn't have single player and was a disaster. They were giving it away
messy.
At one point.
Yeah,
it was so buggy, man. It really was.
Graphically wise as well, it just did not match any of the Battlefields whatsoever.
And that was the only thing, Matt. Like that was the one key thing you always got
as well.
Beautiful looking game, didn't you? And even that was glitchy. Like some of the memes online were hilarious with that game. So they're taking the sweet ass time. This was I don't know, like 4 or 5 minutes, a few minutes long at least video. No gameplay apart from the last 10 seconds. You don't see much in the last 10 seconds. Basically, where they're at to at the moment is it's pre-alpha footage, right? And pre-alpha testing, which for pre-alpha, only 10 seconds. Of course, we take it with a pinch of salt. It looked good for what it was.
Pre-alpha means cinematics only.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't.
Scripted.
I don't know what it said at the bottom. You know, they always have a little thing in game engine or whatever. I don't even care if they had that or they didn't have that up because if they're clearly saying it's pre-alpha, I'm fine with that. It won't come out. It will come out in the next financial year. So between April and March. I really don't like them announcing a game coming out that far in advance. I've discussed this with you boys before. I like at the most a year's notice so that we're not being teased, especially if it's delayed.
It most likely probably would be as well.
I signed up for the playtesting for Battlefield. I don't know if I'm going to get selected.
Yeah, that's the next element to touch on. So they do call them flight tests, which is absolutely what a batshit crazy name for, like, just call it testing. Anyway, so you can register for it. If you just basically just go on and Google it, man. Honestly, it's you'll find there was massive queues the other day for it. Massive queues. I just waited until earlier on today. I got on really quick. I've registered. It'll probably be a no, or it'll be later on. The thing is, even if we get in, we're not allowed to discuss it because it'll be an NDA thing.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure I could probably discuss it with like Gray or Matt if they play it unofficially. I probably can't, but because they know what's going on. But we couldn't discuss it on here, so I might still play it if I get in, but we won't be able to really tell you much because we're recording this and it's going out live. So it's kind of like, easy for the lawyers to come and basically lock our asses up.
Yeah, we'll show you a muted video of it on the audio side.
We could role play it.
Yeah, role play it.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah,
we can get little hand puppets and stuff, and just
Gray could be the bad guy, and we could be the allied soldiers, like just coming over to get Gray.
We got to do all the sound effects.
Sound effects, that's fine, man. I can do sound effects. Pew, 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 pew.
Just like the dog, see?
In fact, I don't think there'll be pew pew because this is set in modern times, so no future Battlefield, unfortunately. So yes,
thankfully,
I will be looking forward to that. I was never a massive Battlefield fan, but I'm a fan of games in general, and I just want to see it do well because you need competition for COD. Because if there's no competition, then you'll get another AMD in your hands where they're running away with their side of things. So, is what it is. The next thing I've got in my docket, and slag it all you want, and many people will. Shut up! I am going to batter you. I'm jumping the gun here. There is another update out for No Man's Skies. Now, I know it was a janky mess at the start, but this is the part 2 of the recent updates they said they would do for free. They're taking assets, features from their new game that they're making at the moment and porting it to No Man's Sky. So, like, they've never charged for one DLC to this day in like 9-10 years.
I don't see how they could.
So what I'm going to quickly do
now? It's New Man's Sky now. Is that a No Man's Sky?
Did I say that? No Man's Sky. No.
Sort of Man's Sky.
Sort of Man's Sky. Yeah.
You
said something. What? You said something about new assets. I'm going like, what is it? No Man's Sky 2? Is that what we're talking about?
No. Hopefully, they'll never make another one again.
Okay.
So this is basically called Worlds Part 2. And there is a bunch of things they've done, basically. That's why I wanted to show the video. It's probably a lot quicker. Brings the game up to version 5.5. There is like new planets, new stars, new story elements. I really do need to get back into it again at some point. But with anything else, there's so many bloody games that there's never going to be any time for that. You can fish in it as well. Like, I mean,
I'm still on the first planet. So
yeah, you probably are. That sounds about right.
Oh dear.
That sounds about right, man. Like No Man's Sky, I believe the update is already out. Yes, it was out last week.
Last week, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. We had so much information to discuss in the pod last week. It was kind of delayed a little bit as well. The last 2 things are really quick for me, and that is the PlayStation Plus games for February have been revealed. It's a bit meh. We've maybe got one banger in there, as Seamus would say if you watch your WWE. That is Payday 3, which is a kind of pretty kind of famous, popular game for the masses.
A pain, though.
Was that the newer one? Because the newer one was...
No, that's the newest one, but it's been out for a little bit now. They don't tend to have games in day one. They're not like Xbox. It's a bit different the way they approach it.
Word on Payday, the new one is not good.
That's Payday 3 then. It might not be great then. High on Life, which I've not played, but I remember hearing about this back in the day. A year or two ago. It was a kind of small shooter with guns that talk to you, but it's a bit of a comic kind of relief thing, and it's funny. And
I did play the game. I probably played about 20%, 25%. I liked it. I thought it was great.
That's
all the time was funny.
And then you get Pac-Man World Repack, which sounds like a remaster to me if I ever bloody heard one. Mm-hmm. The last thing is, some people will find this amusing. I'm not really surprised it happened, to be honest with you. Sony officially drops PSN requirement on PC.
About time.
Well, don't piss off PC players, basically. I'm not really surprised. They tried more than once. They failed. They fell flat on their face numerous times. They've given up. They should just really bring out their own launcher. That way, I mean, another launcher's annoying, but if they bring out their own launcher, no one's going to complain, and they should, because they won't need to pay 30% to Steam. And I don't know if any of their games come out on Epic, but it's only 12%. They're getting rid of it, but they will still have it around as an optional add-in, which would give you extras, which would give you, I don't like cosmetic stuff. I've got a PSN account anyway, mate, so I would probably fire it in if I got a PC game. But to be fair, if I really wanted a PlayStation game, I'd buy it in PlayStation because it comes out first in PlayStation. So I have never bought a Sony game for PC yet. I don't think I ever would, because if I really want it, I get it in PlayStation. So I'm just saying. But yeah, so we'll move on because I realise it's a decent bit of news. But we've got more news. Matt's got some news for us as well, please. We'll just let you do your thing, my man. You've got reviews, some news for us. I'll let you kick off if you're in
Tell
one
us
piece.
about these new games, man.
Cool. Let's see what happens here. Gosh, yeah. So first one is Ghost of Tabor. That's been out since March 2023, but they had quite a bit of an update, so I jumped onto that.
Of course you did.
Yeah. So Ghost of Tabor is a VR game, first-person shooter. That you go off into different areas and loot, shoot, do some missions, and then extract. And then you bring goodies that you find on the way back.
Is there sniping in it?
There's sniping, there's shooting, there's explosions, there's PvP, PvE as well now, which they've added, which is awesome. I'm terrible at it still, but it doesn't stop me from trying.
God love you. God bless you.
I know,
mate.
somebody has to. I tell you.
Yeah.
There you go. So yeah, it's very unique.
The PvE part or the PvP part?
Both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah, they're both quite demanding and quite harsh sort of thing. They've also got day and night maps as well in there, so it's quite interesting. Some people do meet up, and you can group up, team play on there as well.
Team play.
Yeah, team play. There you go. The game offers players very unique and intense experience, which I can definitely say it does. You have loadouts that you can create for yourself, as well as searching for loots. You got to have food, drink as well to keep you going, energy, and medical supplies as well to keep you going. You got to upgrade your bunker, which is your home base, to get like more money so you can spend it on more gear. Pardon me. So far, the game has received a good bit of praise for its realism and immersion. The detailed mechanics are really nice, such as the manual reloading of the magazines, adding attachments, eating, opening up things as well, creating rounds for your magazines as well. It is very, very intuitive. There we go.
Yeah, that worked. Easy for you to say.
Yeah. But I got back and smoke it. There you go. So yeah, it is very challenging. There is a learning curve to it. So yeah, pretty much you just have to persevere through there as well. There are some bugs. I've not really seen much. The most bugs that I normally get is not being able to get some kit from the floor or some clipping through the scenery. But it's pretty much getting a bit better. It's not as much as it was before. So it's a very good game. I've been playing that in my lunch times and getting my ass kicked. Yeah.
Have you played a decent amount of it? Would you play more of it, go back to it again, or is it like you kind of fed up?
Oh no, I'll still keep going back. I mean, like you get rewards on a 6-hour, a daily, and a weekly thing. So whether you lose your kit there and you got nothing left, you know, after a certain while they give you like an AK or an SMG to go off and play with. I have gone off on my own with nothing and just picked up from where I am and played through that way. I think I've only extracted once recently from there. The rest of the time I'm just getting shot out of nowhere. Yeah,
sounds like Grey. You sound like Grey. Bullet sponge.
Yeah, my aiming is terrible, even through the VR sort of thing. Yeah, definitely needs a lot of work. But yeah, I'm continuing. I'm keep playing it as well. I got quite a good hefty amounts of kits. So yeah, it's good.
Fair enough.
I enjoy it. Yeah.
What else have you got in the docket for
what
us?
would you
playing more than one thing, or
I'd give it.
Wait, what would you rate Ghost of Tabor if it was like a 1 to 5?
1 to 5. Ooh, well, 4. I'll give it a 4.
Okay, that's pretty good.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's very immersive. Like, you get to meet people around the map. Sometimes they're nice. Sometimes they'll trick you and just hang around with you, and then eventually they'll shoot you.
Great.
Yeah, sometimes they don't. Sometimes I shoot them and go, ha, oh, it was an accident. But you do get extra points for doing such things as well, sort of thing. Some people
It could
have
be worse.
Little...
It could be like Helldivers, and the door cuts you in half.
Absolutely,
like
yeah. It's nothing like getting sliced in half by a door. Yeah, isn't that right,
he
Chance?
deserved it. He deserved it.
Yeah. That's what happens when you lay in the doorway.
Could be worse.
So it's a good game.
No, couldn't be much worse.
The next one is a free-to-play game. It's an RPG, real-time strategy on Steam called Emergency. So it's top-down, click and select sort of thing, which is interesting. It's interesting. So you take the role of incident commanders. You play with other people. You can play on your own. You don't have to. So you get like certain amounts of... so you get like about 7 slots that you can use for your different emergency vehicles to use at a scenario. So with that, you can either do firefighting, rescue, ambulance, medical, police, SWAT, electrician as well as a...
wait a minute. You said all those really cool things and an electrician.
Yeah, electrician. Everybody needs an electrician to turn off the electrics when there's a fire.
What's the special weapon? A power drill?
It's a wrench. It's a wrench.
A spanner, you tool.
It's a wrench, not a spanner.
No, that's what Americans call it.
Spanner.
You call it a spanner, you spanner.
I've heard of spammers, but not...
Spanner, two N's, not 2 M's.
Yeah, you can have a spammer.
You can have one of them too, yeah.
Yeah, so as well as co-op gameplay, you have single mode as well. And you just level up as well. As I said, you got firefighters, medics, police officers, technical engineers to respond to incidents.
Did you play it?
I did. Yeah, I played it a few times.
Which one of those did you pick?
I was an all-rounder. So you depending on what scenario you have. So if you have... if you're on your own, then you definitely be using all of them. So if you're in the co-op, some people will aim more at firefighting, and then you'd go in with the police or ambulance and doctor as well for those major incidents. So you pretty much click on where you go, where to park them in the map, which are, you have certain areas. So certain fire engines would need access to a hydrant, so you need parking next to a hydrant or somewhere near for them to actually do that. So yeah, it is quite interesting. You do get a level up. You get rewards as well on a daily basis as well. And it's also, I think, has the worst thing, which is the pay to win style kind of nonsense, as most 3 games kind of do anyways.
Does that pay to win in it?
Yeah.
Or doesn't?
It
How
does.
did they make their money?
Probably through that. They have like a, I wouldn't say season pass as such, but yeah, they have like certain things. Power ups and all that sort of thing that you
season pass. Buy. How does that work, man? What, you get a skin on your fire engine or something?
Yeah, you get extra flashing light. There you go. So,
you get a skin on your fire truck to make it look like an Enterprise or something.
So you get like a boost. Yeah.
I don't know if it's a British police officer, maybe you get a couple of extra inches on the truncheon or something. Like, I don't know.
Get a cup of tea with every arrest. There you go.
Oh man, that's
so
funny.
They have quite a bit of challenges there, and the map is quite big, and you click on a certain area or a certain level that you want to do with yourself or with players. It's interesting. It's okay. Out of 5, I'd definitely give that probably about a 3. It's half and half, sort of thing.
Okay, well, for free, like you say,
it is free. Yeah.
Yeah.
What can you do?
Yeah.
Can't
There's
argue
definitely
too
not
much, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you will go back to that, or so definitely Ghost of Tabor sounds better, but
Yeah,
maybe
Ghost of
try.
Tabor, definitely. Absolutely. If anybody's up for saving my ass,
What?
join
You
us.
say it was a VR game, yeah?
It is, yeah. So you can play it on the Quest, on the Rift.
Which I have.
PlayStation as well. Yeah.
How much is it, mate?
Ghost
of Tabor.
Oh gosh, how much was it? I think I bought it for 15. I think it's got up to £20 now.
What?
£24.
I'm out. VR game. I want to pay that for a PC game, but for a VR game,
15.
Yeah,
if it's $20, it's $25, so it'll be £20.
Yeah.
I
Where's
think I'll
my
wait
meta?
for a sale because you want to know something, boys? It would have been fun to play a VR game with you guys on a multiplayer because I've never done that before. But I'm not paying.
We look like fools when we do that.
It's £21.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
but did it go up in price, Matt?
$18.99. So yeah, $18.99 at the moment.
Well,
I'm sure
it says it's £20.99
Mm.
on Steam, unless you're looking
Meta,
at a key
you got
site.
£18. Yeah, no, this is on Meta's own store.
Right.
Which is
okay.
£18.
So can. Okay. So Steam are actually. Yeah, this makes sense. Steam are charging more because of the 30%.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. It's
there
got
it
mixed
is.
reviews.
In the life. It's kind of mixed. Yeah, I think it's really good. I mean, it has been out for quite a while, and at the beginning it was kind of clunky, and there was quite a few issues. Where now it's they're working hard on it. They're always updating it. So yeah, it's definitely worth it.
I'm looking at Emergency. I'm looking at pictures of Emergency at the moment. In fact, what I'll quickly do is just share my screen. This is kind of what you're looking at, guys. Here.
Yeah. So there's your slots down there for your ambulance, police, whoever you want.
It looks.
The graphics are decent.
It looks like a shit Command and Conquer, basically.
Pretty much on the rescue side. Yeah.
I mean, for free. Listen, come on. Like, that deserves a star on its own.
Yeah.
I want to see some of these like skins and stuff because, in fact, this could be a laugh, right? At the very, very start, I'm sure there was. There you go.
Yeah. So you do get like different scenarios in one mission, sort of thing. So while there's a fire there'd be something down the road happening where there's a burglary or an assault of some sort.
I like the announcer in that trailer though. That was great.
I'm going to download this, boys. I'm up for playing this on Tuesday just to give it a try. It's free. Like, even if it's absolutely gash, then it's free. I haven't paid anything for it.
Matt said Sniper Elite's they have a multiplayer option.
Yes, but only 2 people can play. We'll get to
multiplayer.
that.
You can have 4.
Oh, that's different. Well, let's save that for the Sniper Elite bit, which is about to come up anyway. Because so I will download it. Listen, it gives us options when we play games on. We try to play a game most Tuesdays together. So we'll get something to talk about, and so that I can remind myself of these guys' lovely faces.
Yeah, I can say.
So. So Matt, you confused me because you had game news, Matt, and then you put reviews underneath, and I'm like, huh?
Yeah. Because it used to say game. Yeah, I just went. I'm just gonna put that.
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
just to
you were sick. You threw up all over the notes. I know.
I understood it perfectly.
Yeah.
Right. You boys have both. I know Gray's got some game news as well, but in fact, game news. But he's put review. Gray's done the same bloody thing.
That's why I wrote review in there. I don't want to
Matt done earlier on game news.
Because
Matt,
the notes get too busy when you sit there and start putting game review, game news, game. Just
You're killing my OCD, man. You're killing my OCD.
Well, you change game news for game reviews.
Well, technically, it does fall under games news.
It does. Yeah, it's news.
I mean,
for reviews.
Don't just. I'm going to both eject you into space. Right.
So
anyway,
the Enterprise will be waiting for us.
Sniper
Run by
Elite Resistance review. Can you shoot Hitler's testicle in Sniper Elite Resistance?
That was another thing. But he's in this. He's back in this again. If you get the
again. Guys get more bloody lives
than anybody has.
Every Sniper Elite that I can think of since
doesn't learn, does he?
I think every Sniper Elite they ever made, or at least since 2 or 3, you have a kill Hitler mission every single time.
Yeah.
In fact, I saw. I didn't really look at it, but there's a video out there that apparently in Sniper Elite Resistance you can kill Hitler 10 different ways. So I'm like, great. I'm gonna explore
And
every one
you
of
never
those.
shot his one remaining testicle off. Great.
That was
Jesus
that was
Christ,
a
the best
program
thing about the
problem.
bloody game, and you never done it.
No, I did it. Its problem is the game wouldn't let me. You never came back?
What do you mean?
It was a glitch in the game. I did everything I was supposed to do, and he was
restart the mission.
I did. It still didn't work.
Restart the game.
Hell no, I'm not restarting the game.
Delete it. Get rid of the files.
I would to shoot
Nah.
Hitler's remaining testicle off. Yes,
Look,
I would.
The game is a lot of fun. So even if Hitler wasn't in it, it would be far. But you
know what the other one is, Gray. It's in the Albert Hall.
Yeah,
the left
one.
There's a song about Hitler's testicles.
The left one or the right one?
Yeah,
or both. I don't know.
You can't sing it all. That Hitler's only got one ball. The other, it's in the Albert Hall. His mother. I won't finish it, right? But yeah, that's that. So you had one. You had one down there, and the other one was sitting in Albert Hall, and you had the opportunity to take that. All right, okay.
Okay. I think we should get on to some good stuff now.
Yeah.
So Sniper Elite Resistance, as you guys know, if you've been listening to the podcast, this is one of my go-to franchises. This and Sniper Ghost Warrior. Anytime the word sniper comes up, I'm in on it because damn good.
He does love his thing.
So anyway, the game is right at the outset. I want everybody to remember this is not a numbered game. So that means Sniper Elite Resistance uses a lot of assets from Sniper Elite 5, which I don't have a problem with. Because they did a great job. The overall reviews out there have been very good for the game. So once I heard it was coming out, I couldn't wait. So when it came out, I was like, I'm all over this thing. So I'm already through. I'm into Mission 5 right now. I think Matt finished up 8 or he's on 8, whichever.
Yeah, on 8. Yeah.
But I'm finding it every bit as fun as the Sniper Elite 5 or even more so. The only thing I don't like, I don't know about you, Matt, but they use a different character. It's a real... it's an English bloke, but he's
a right old cockney fella, isn't he?
Yeah, and I'm not.
Doesn't match his
on the voice acting.
Yeah, no, yeah,
not at all.
That put me off quite a bit.
Yeah, that's like, the only negative I can say on the whole game is that his voice is just ain't making it.
Yeah,
whereas Carl Fairburn sounds much better, in the role. But that's a minor thing. Minor thing. Mm-hmm. But I'm really enjoying the hell out of the game. The missions. The nice thing about Sniper Elite Resistance is that I'm into it for the sniping, but you can do other things. If you want to play a mission without sniping, you can, or you could snipe some and then go into the city and stealth out, or you can go in run and gun. I wouldn't advise that, but you could if you want to get your butt handed to you more often.
Defeats the purpose, doesn't it, man, of a sniping game? It really does.
Yeah, you can do me and just mess it up and then just have everybody chase you.
Oh, please. And I play Sniper Elite hard, one below the hardest. And so if you do something wrong, they're all over you.
Yeah.
So, which is the way I like it.
Why'd you not put it on the top setting if you're such a...
Because the problem with playing on Authentic, which is the highest one, I tried it a couple of times. They absolutely give you zero help. There is no way. You have to try to figure out the wind direction and everything by yourself. It's not easy.
No HUD.
And you don't have any real guide. Like in other words, like I can't... In the game, if you're playing Authentic, I can't look at the trees and tell which way the wind's blowing because the trees aren't really blowing like that. Okay. So it's rough. However, I noticed on this game, I don't think it was in Sniper Elite 5, but I'm not sure. In this game, though, they have sliders where you can control and tweak out what you want. Even though you pick, let's say, hard, you can go in there and you can tweak something harder or a little easier. Now, I never messed with that when I first play through. I play through hard all the way. And then you can now go back, though, and you can say, all right, well, now that I played on hard, I want to go back into hard, but I want to make only certain things even harder and then leave other ones alone. And you can do that, which I love because I love customization in any game. You can do stuff like that. Give me the slider controls and let us do what we want to do. They're going to do it in the new Doom game coming. They do it here in this game. And I think most good games of this type or whatever should always have that in there, that you tweak it the way you want. It really gives you a lot of latitude to do different things and challenge yourself, which is really fun. Nice. When I started out the game, the first thing I came up to on a mission, which I loved, I came up and there was a bridge in the distance. And basically, you need to have that, blow up the bridge. So without getting too much to spoil it, there was a bunch of the Nazis on the bridge, and all of them are at 200 to 300 meters away, which is a long shot. And for me, I love it. So I sit there and I just go like, yeah, there's 5 of them over there. You're all dead. So I'm just picking them off. Blink, 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 blink. And I'm just going like, yeah. And then I'm just looking for some more and I'm trying to picking them off. I'm doing everything from 50 millimeter shots to the longest one I have right now is over 400 meters. That guy is far away.
All the girls must love you, man.
So I'm just like loving this thing, man. It was just great. And then just playing out the stealth and trying not to get noticed. And one thing I can tell you, if you never played Sniper or any of the Sniper Elite series, remember to hit F5 and save. Because if you do like a bunch of the mission, and there is some auto saving, but it doesn't happen that often. So if you're into a mission where you already accomplished a bunch of stuff, or you tagged a bunch of enemies, or you killed whatever, and you don't hit F5, you're going back to the last save.
To manually save, man. Games these days just save as you go along, man. What is this,
no,
like
this game,
2019 again or something?
It will
save,
save,
but it's at certain points.
But it allows you to save at any point in the game, anywhere you want, and as often as you want, which is great. All games should be like that. You have a choice. So yes, you're not going to go back to the beginning of the game if you don't do it, but I implore you to do it because there's some stuff you're going to go like, oh, you're going to be like mad.
Okay.
The scenery is great. The graphics are great. We're not talking, high-end AAA graphics. This is more like 2.5A. I always like to say it. But it doesn't really take away from the game. If you had to be nitpicky, you look at some of the people walking around. Sometimes when they walk around, it's a bit janky, but nothing to really take a lot from the game. It is what it is. But it's a fabulous, fun game. And like I said, the reviews have been really good at it. And I've been having a blast trying to figure out how I want to come at certain things. And with me, because I play a slower game, especially when I want to take out people at far distance and whatnot, or moving into the village and then playing stealthy as I can. I mean, each mission can take me 2 to 4 hours, easy. Because I take my time, and there's a lot of times where you finish the mission, and there's still some Nazis on the map, but you don't have to shoot them. You just exfiltrate and you're out. Not me. I go back and I go, who didn't I kill? And I'll run back.
You got to get them all, man. It's like Pokemon, isn't it? You got to get them all.
Yeah, so I go back and I just find out, and then it's funny on the stats at the end, it shows you how good you did or whatever. There was one mission, though, where I read it where it said there was one guy I didn't get that I tagged with binoculars, but I never shot him. And I go like, damn, where was he? But it's a lot of fun, and it really is. And you can play on much easier modes, too. You don't have to, jack it all the way up to hard or whatever. But it's such a blast, and I have so much fun with it. I'm just, like, loving this. And then the Season Pass, you get the base game for free with Game Pass if you have Game Pass. But what Game Pass does is then if you want the Season Pass, you just buy the Season Pass only. And
you get a reduction in price if you're a Xbox Game Pass member.
They give you a discount, but it really isn't that much. But yeah, a couple of bucks. So I decided to do it. I had a gift card anyway, so I went ahead and bought the Season Pass, which gets me 2 DLCs, probably 2 to 3 maps on each one when they come out. And they'll come out over the course of the next few months or whatever. So that was a blast, but man, I wanted to see what you thought too. So go for it.
Yeah, it is very enjoyable. I think that first mission, when I saw the guys on the bridge as well, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm taking them down as well. I'm just going to go. I'm going to do what I can. Not shots straight in the eyeballs, whatever. I'll go straight for it. And I'm shooting away, and I'm like, why are they not dying? And I'm shooting away, and I'm like, where are my rounds going? I've got them ranged in, and I'm still shooting them. Nothing's going on, and I'm like, I don't understand. Am I in the way of something that's blocking it? And it turned out that was a bug.
Oh, really? I didn't have that happen.
Yeah, so I was just like, at that time, I didn't know it was a bug.
The game
no, I didn't know it was a bug. I just thought, oh, maybe I have to go into the mission areas and then start popping people off. Which, at the point, I was like, they're not very far. It's not much of a sniper game if they're like just 200 meters ahead of you, sort of thing. I'm just like, oh, that's nothing, I might as well just walk up on them.
The only bug that I saw, or kind of a bug anyway, there was a couple times where I went on close attack and I had the pistol out on silencer. And I go to shoot and so I missed the guy's head, whatever, but I hit him right in the chest. didn't seem to bother him a whole lot. So then I pegged him again in the chest. He still didn't seem to bother him a whole lot. And I'm going like, wait a minute. Maybe it's not the most powerful gun, but you should need to have like an injury or fall down or something.
Absolutely. So I saw that as well. Yeah.
Then immediately, of course, what do? I reload the save because I'm not going to sit there and, then if I know I have to go for the headshot, then fine, I'll go for the headshot. But that was one of the only weird things. Otherwise, it seemed fine.
I think the other one is if you don't like, there's special ways to snipe certain specific high value targets. If you don't get them at like a certain point or in a certain area or a certain way, then you've missed that chance, which I only learned of eventually halfway through all the missions. Pretty much I was like, oh, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be doing it this way. So I think somewhere down the line I am going to have to do every single one of those missions again just to see.
Boys, what about the different kind of modes? Because I was watching someone play Frankie on PC in 1080, famous kind of YouTuber, and he's pretty good at the FPS games. And I watched him sneak into someone else's game.
Is he back?
And literally, he's back. Well, he's back. He goes. He's back. He disappears. He's all the place. But he snuck into someoe's game.
I did that today.
Person playing that on his own, and then as a team, there's 2 people, and he'd go in and literally troll them. Like run up, but he could shoot them across the map, but instead he wants to go up behind them and like slit their throats and whatnot. And he's absolutely trolling the hell out of them, like following them behind them, going behind them, following the guy along, like making noises and everything. I'm like, that is a great concept. I would probably turn it off because I would shit myself. I would want to play the first player content.
You can have it as invite only, friends only, or open.
I was going to say.
Yeah, but you have to have their anti-cheat installed. First time I didn't install it and it just kept coming up with errors. So you have to reinstall that part only.
You can get... So you can play multiplayer.
Yeah.
You can go into people's games and infiltrate them, invasion, hence the title.
Yep.
But can you go in and play, like someone said 2 people, then someone said like
co-op.
4?
Yeah, so you can do the missions as a co-op. So two of you.
Yeah, co-op's 2, the multiplayer's 4, and invasion is simply what it means. You invade a game or they invade your game. One of the 2.
So multiplayer's 4 people then. How does that vary from the co-op 2 player? That you just try to kill each other across the map, then you can't team up and try and play the game
so
co-op?
There's 4 teams, 4 players, and you're out on a map, and pretty much you have to hunt each other down and snipe away. As far as I can tell. So
it's almost like I guess a Battlefield kind of game at that point.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I don't want to shoot you guys. Well, I mean, I do, but I don't really. But I do. But I don't.
Well, I think you can play as teams, so you can go after the other team.
Yeah, but there's only 2. We want
4.
We need a game.
No, 4.
But for the co-op, we want to play in the same
2.
team.
Yeah,
we can't.
You can technically get 3 in. You can have a invasion person coming in, and as well as the co-op. Maybe
that's a good idea. I bet you people
doesn't test that.
Yeah, we haven't tried that, but that would be. That feature only came out, I think, with Sniper Elite 5, and I didn't try it yet because nobody wanted to play on those modes with me, so I just did the single player. But since you guys are interested, I told Matt and I want to try it for sure. If you want to try it, Trev, you can jump in with us. I want to see what it is, and it apparently it's supposed to be good. And there's not a lot of games that can have that many different modes that are good. So, but the invasion thing I've never tried, but I've heard that it is
quite fun. Yeah, I did that today. And luckily, the guy that he was on easy, unfortunately. So he was just on this map, and I think he was well occupied, but he was right close to me. So I ended up hearing his little silenced weapon going off, and I turn around the corner, and he's right there, and I'm just looking at him. And at the end of it, I pulled out my little pistol and then shot him in the face, and he disconnected. Yeah, he did. He disconnected straight off.
I'd disconnect if I seen your little pistol as well. To be fair.
Yeah. It is a bit of a shocker.
No, you wouldn't. I don't
I'd get the magnifying the goggles out they've got in game. Be like,
night vision.
Can't see.
Yeah,
night vision. Like okay.
Night vision.
Yeah.
So it's fun. You're enjoying it so far, then, yeah?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing the rest of the missions. But I try to take my time and really just soak it in and enjoy it. But it's been fun, and there's lots of things you can do or not, depending. like Matt and I were talking before about blowing vehicles up. You don't have to blow any vehicles up if you don't want to, but you have mines to do it. So there was this one mission where I don't know what the deal was, but there was like 3 or 4 trucks constantly going by the 2 or 3 roads. I mean, like this all the time. And it got to the point where like I was getting so pissed at these stupid trucks coming by all the time. I just went out and blew them up. So I could eliminate a couple of them so I could continue on with what I was doing.
So it's also a good distraction method as well. If you're trying to infiltrate someone's game, you can use that as a diversion because you can whistle and stuff as well, can't you? So
the cool thing is you have bottles to throw. You can whistle. I mean, stuff like that. So I have like occasionally I'll throw a bottle and the guy will go investigate.
Hopefully you drink the beer first.
And I pop them off. Yeah. Well, no, these are empty bottles.
Yeah.
Oh.
I can just see that, right? The character goes like this and drains a bottle. Okay, now I can throw it.
And then
hey, some people operate better when they're half cut, when they're a bit pissed. You know, like I used to go for liquid lunches at work all the time, come back after 2 pints, my lunch hour, I was so much more efficient and cheery and smiley. Everyone loved me. Someone commented,
you do know that you probably only felt like you were more efficient. In reality, you probably
it was.
Yeah, there's scribbles everywhere.
It was.
Failed programs.
Whereas my mate would have, he would have 4 pints in an hour.
Oh lordy, Jesus!
A pint every 15 minutes, and he done well. He's like, He get into trouble. People could smell booze off his breath, though. That's different.
Yeah.
Tangents.
Yeah.
That's okay. So as you can tell, we love the game. If y'all are listening to this and from our description and stuff, I would highly advise going to play the game. I think you'll have a lot of fun. And
what would you give it out of 10, boys, so far?
So far, I'm pulling a 10. I'm having a good old time.
What? No game is 10 out of 10 ever.
Okay, 9.5.
Oh,
how's that? I'm
going to give it 8.5 because it's
everything
some
I
buggy
like.
Things,
8.5.
scenery that's floating, NPCs that are running around in a circle, bouncing around.
I'm not going any lower than 9.
No, doesn't need to.
There is one thing that happened in the game that I thought was hilarious. I don't know what mission it was, but I was walking around this guy. I could tell he was trying to come behind me. So I turn around and kill him. As soon as I kill him, he literally melted into the sidewalk and disappeared.
Yeah,
it was great. I'm looking at it and he just goes, and he was gone.
Yeah, you didn't mind because you love the game, whereas it's annoying as hell when you get something that buggy, man.
Saves you hiding the buddy.
Well, the difference was that he wasn't sinking in it before he was dead. It was only after I killed him.
Yeah.
Matt, can you imagine if Trevor from Brookside had that technology back in the day? Do you remember that soap opera here?
Yeah.
Basically, it was a character called Trevor in a soap opera. He buried someone, I can't remember his wife or someone, under his patio in the back garden. And if he'd had no clipping technology, Trevor, and that was the character's name, he would have been just living the dream right there.
Absolutely.
You know what I noticed? The game's been out for a few days. They haven't issued a patch yet.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking the patch might fix some of those little things. But it really doesn't have that many problems at all.
Scythe, what are you doing, man? Are you trolling us here?
Hello, Kitty. Oh, he does love that game.
What's Kitty?
I'm reporting you to the police. Like, unless you've got a child, and even then I'm reporting you to the police still.
I can imagine what Kitty Adventure is, but, you know.
Hello, Kitty Adventure, 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
right,
10 out of 10.
Right, boys, so that's Sniper Elite, Resistance. We like it. We're going to play some more, but you get more news, of course.
More news, of course. A couple times I've been hearing this. Metal Gear Solid Delta is the one where they remade it. Remade it? Yeah, whatever. And updated the graphics and everything. And we haven't heard anything about a date on this thing. Basically, it's Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, which I believe was the third Metal Gear Solid 3 game. They remade it, and now someone leaked out the date. It was a store owner or something like this that got a date from PlayStation or something, and he said that it's coming out August 28th, which isn't that far. It will be this year. So if that date is correct, we can finally look forward to it being August 28th. Now, it was supposed to come out at the end of last year, but it didn't. But I'm hearing some really good things about it because the game was a good game when it came out, but the graphics obviously are pretty old now. So now that I've seen the trailers on the updated graphics, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good. They did use all the original voice recordings. The only thing they added to the game was, I believe, they added some cinematics to it and stuff to make it a little better. You'll have the option to use the modern controls or the classic controls when you play. The other thing that I thought was interesting is it's going to come out PC, PS5, Xbox, and Switch too, apparently. So so we don't have that long to wait. So that'll be kind of cool.
People are allowed to announce games for the Switch too, I think, at this stage. They just can't say when they're going to come out.
The difference is the main character is replaced by Mario every time. It's like unbelievable.
No, I think the Switch 2 is going to be playing a lot more of these AAA games because it's got DLSS in it. It will play a lot more.
Yeah, because Sony needs more money. No.
Well, yeah,
Nintendo.
They're pretty rich.
The last thing was Enshrouded. We've talked about the game a lot. The game is really good, and it's done by a very small group that put it together. And they've been updating the game without any extra cost since the game came out. And it's great because it only costs like $30 to get the game. We've all played it to some extent. Just so you know, the next update or the update that's out is called Pact of the Flame, where they open up the map some more into different areas. And if you lost track, the first update was called Hollow Halls, which they introduced some dungeon. The second was Melodies of the Mire, which brought you into the tree houses, which I've played. I've gotten that far. The third is Back to the Shroud, which I haven't touched, and the fourth was Souls of the Frozen Frontier, which brought you into the north. And now this one's Pact of the Flame. There's some video running now on Jankovision. And
that's me reduced the resolution as well to try and make it better.
Again, the video podcast of our audio podcast will be coming out 48 hours after, and all this stuff will be corrected and looking good. In any case, the game is like great. I'm sorry, I'm like falling behind this far.
I'm the same, mate. 2 DLCs.
There's some things introduced in the game that are kind of neat. Now, if you're a builder, I'm not really a builder, but for those people out there that do like to build, they made a lot of upgrades for building. Apparently, they've added something like 70 different new items. That's a lot. They allow you to build in first person because a lot of people were complaining that when they were trying to place furniture down and things, they couldn't quite maneuver it right because everything was always third person. So it was kind of tough to line things up. So now you can go into first person mode when you're building. So that's something that everybody wanted and they did. You get full rotation of all the props, whereas before it might only turn in 2 directions. Now it'll turn on its axis, unless it's an obvious thing that you would turn upside down, and then it won't turn upside down. There's supposed to be some new block decaying, and I was wondering, like, what's a block decay? So I started watching it, and basically you can make your building look old after you build it. And I'm like, okay. But if I spent all that time to really make it look cool, why would I go out and decay it? Well, whatever. Some people like that, so you can do that.
That's normal in a lot of games, man. Rust has got that as well.
Showing a bit of age.
You need upkeep to keep your base going. Just
the
like
other
a
thing
real
is
home.
I thought was kind of interesting is they have an ivy overgrowth. So in other words, you could place ivy all over, or you can take the ivy off if you want to. So again, more aesthetic and parts of the building thing. They're going to introduce a couple of new NPCs that are going to be taking care of some of the stuff, or be in charge of some of the stuff that you have to get your materials off of and things like that. There's going to be new props for plates, boards, coasters, decorative stuff. Like I said, 70 new or previously unavailable props will be accessible. So it's really more building centric for those people that want to build, but it's not like they didn't do other things. One of the things that I thought was really good is that now you can individually reset every separate skill, which I thought was a really cool idea. So if you've already mapped out your skills and you've got 20 or 25 different skills, if you want to, you can go in and turn off a skill and turn on another one. So it makes it so much easier to sit there and maybe customize your character. Or if you decide you want to do something a little different, you can go in there and just start tweaking out the tree. Take one off, put one on, take 2 off, put 2 on, whatever you want to do. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Okay.
There's farm animals and stuff that they introduced a while ago. There was some bugs with that. They fixed a lot of that. They also have some updates on stuff that maybe we've already played. They've gone in and made some improvements, fixed some bugs, made new camp locations and so forth. So it sounds really exciting. And like I said, they have also got a whole map for 2025. So they've gone through all this in a year without charging any extra money for anything. And now they're going to be rolling into the roadmap for 2025. I haven't heard a word about whether they're charging for any of that. So
they can't really charge for the. It's unacceptable in my opinion, Gray, to charge for any kind of DLC until the game comes out to 1.0 comes out of early access, which what is rumored to be now 2026 because they want to make sure the game is fully polished first. If I remember rightly.
That never seems to stop some. I'm not saying they're going to do that, but it never seems to stop some devs because they'll go like, "Well, we
No,
get
but
you all
they
this free.
shouldn't,
Now we're going to start charging."
Yeah.
You know,
There should be a rule though,
Yeah,
like
agreed.
from Valve or something. Like you can't. Well, a game's in early access. In fact, Valve came out and said earlier on they're going to actually announce every now and again how long a game has been in early access to people that have got the game, so that they know if the devs are still actually contributing and making the game or not. So otherwise, you just get the piss taken out of you, won't you? So they should ban that. Like you shouldn't be allowed to bring out DLC unless your game's still in early access. But they like money, don't they? So
yeah. By the way, you can turn off Jankovision if you want.
yeah, if you finish your article for sure. I mean, it's a pretty long video. We got through most of that. To be fair, I think the only way that video works is we turn it to 480p, which we don't ideally want to do because it's a bit too low.
There's
but
another way to solve it, but I'll explain that one later. Anyway,
beans.
the thing that also I think it's great about these devs is that when they say they have a roadmap, they stick to it. So basically, everything that they said they were going to do on the last roadmap, they did. And now they got a whole roadmap for another year, and they got a whole bunch of stuff in there, what they want to do. And I'm sure that they're probably going to do every bit of it. So in my opinion, even though I don't think they're going to be charging for anything in the future, even if they did, if it was reasonable, I would just do it because the game is so good and they've expanded it so much, that I just got to get back to it, man. It's just there's all kinds of things. And it was a lot of fun. So there's your update for that. So that'll be happening real soon.
I'm the same as you, Gray. I've still got the last 2 DLCs to play. I think I played the one, I finished Hollow Halls, but there's been another 2 updates since then, including the one you just mentioned, which I need to get back to. It's a shame we never all played that together, because you can play it together, but it's like, it was a bit janky. It didn't feel like a proper multiplayer or co-op for me. It was like you go and do your own thing, essentially.
We can try it again. I mean, I would hope they've improved it, I guess. Time.
Yeah, wasn't there a thing where you couldn't get your experience, or you couldn't do something from that other person's game that you join?
Yeah, exactly. That rings a bell, mate, which is not ideal. But I thoroughly enjoy it. It's probably my game of 2024. My favourite game that I played in 2024. So, I mean, it is brilliant. It's so cheap. They're still going with optimizing it, polishing it, and they're not rushing to bring
raising
it out.
Cap levels and stuff too, and so you
new skill trees or updated skill trees. So come out of 1.0 in 2026, and then bring out DLC. No one will begrudge you it because you've been reasonable so far. So I'm glad we bought it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for my game news for now.
Excellent. Right, okay. We love our tech news here, as you know, and I've got a couple of things on the agenda which are pretty interesting. Today, actually, it was probably a couple of days ago, but I found this out today. There are heavy rumours that Valve, that runs Steam, are working on a new Steam console. Now, we've heard this before, like the Steam box was a thing back in the day, if you remember, but it was kind of janky. This is rumoured to be powered by the brand new, fresh RDNA 4 graphics from AMD that they're basing their new cards on. And we know that is because they're openly working on drivers for the graphics cards. Now, these are for their laptop equivalent. So the 9070 is one model that comes up here. And them being a dev, because they are devs as well, at the end of the day, these guys, they get access to these drivers. And they're working on drivers that are assumed to be compatible with their machine. And it'd be RDNA 4 technology and FSR4. I'm intrigued by this because I think it says a Steam console, but it'll be more of like a mini PC. Like it'll be a Steam Deck.
Just like the other consoles.
Yeah, but no, not that. But I mean, they're more games. They're more like your traditional games, because this will be able to play all the PC games. I would imagine, and I would look forward to that. I'd like to see that. I think once they bring this out, if it's a thing, you'll see more competition as well. Remember we discussed a few pods ago, Steam bringing out Steam OS. official operating system, because back in the day when Steambox was their thing, it was a janky mess of anyone can make a Steambox, and it was just in name only. The configs were so different in each machine. The rules weren't really set very well, so you had a mess. This will be a lot more rules and regulations behind it. You could have Lenovo bringing out, I don't know why I picked on Lenovo, because they do a handheld, Lenovo Legion Go, that's why. They could bring out their own Steambox. They're allowed to, but they have to follow some rules now. So competition is good, boys. I hope this is a thing that actually happens. That's all we know on it. They're not in a rush to get it out. They're a rich company. They're a private company. I can't see them rushing to get this out. This also could be another front for Steam Deck too.
Could be, yeah.
Could be, you know. Which they did say they would bring out another handheld console until they had something new to work with, and they do. They have their
own OS.
The new what's their new chip called again?
What?
Z2, Extreme Z2 or something like that, right?
RDNA?
Yeah. The next thing, which I do want your boys' opinion on this.
I got my opinion right now.
Heavy rumours that GTA 6 will target 30 FPS on console, and that will be by default your PS5.
That's normally locked at 30, isn't it?
And yeah, but brand new consoles, including Xbox Series X. Yeah. Do you think so? Right,
it should be high. I mean, at this rate, you should at least get 60-90 out of there. I don't know why they keep sticking to the 30.
Gray,
I think it's ridiculous. They're going and the way they say it will probably target 30 frames per second. So it's almost like 30 is the best you're going to do. You might be playing in 20
to 30
or 15. Yeah. So I'm sitting there going like, please, you make a gazillion dollars off of your games, and you can't do something to get it up to 60 or at least or something. I mean, so they're going to target 30 and probably target 30.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot of people will see the difference. To be honest, you know, like unless they're really heavy gamers like ourselves, they won't see that.
Yeah, but
the difference.
You're right, but the problem with that is that if you're at 30 and something happens, and if it goes below 30, you will notice it. At least if you were at 60 and you fell back,
especially with GTA,
right? You wouldn't notice it as much.
Mm-hmm. So I wanted you boys to come in with your opinion early before I gave you too much more information, because I like to try and play devil's advocate with this one. And
no, you can't. They're wrong.
It would be like me to just jump in their backs immediately, and I have done in the past with companies like this. However, so the caveats are that yes, it will be probably 30 FPS on the current gen consoles. However, PS5 Pro, they might try and get that up to 60 because it uses what do we call it? Pisser now. What do you boys call it? PSSR. PSSR. They're using that to upscale. It's their DLSS.
Yeah.
So that would help. That gets it from 30 to 60. It probably won't be 60 ultra high quality graphics. It'll be more performance mode, but a lot of people don't mind that. They prefer the FPS. So I think that'll be an option. I'll look forward to that. Now, 30 FPS, you mentioned, Gray, a moment ago. You went, well, they're going to target 30 FPS, but what happens if it dips below? The aim here is, realistically, they could probably make that run at higher than 30 FPS, but they will cap it at 30 so that it's not trying to run at like 37 or 40 frames or something like that. They will cap it at 30 because if it's capped at like 30, 45, 60, your eyes adjust to that and they are more thankful for that. So they'll probably cap it at 30. I would rather have the 60, of course I would, mate. But on a console, it's a bit different because you don't really have the mouse.
Yeah, because
so
but that's another story.
As long as the game is excellent, like it's enjoyable, I think you could possibly get away with it if it's optimized to hell.
See what you just said? Possibly get away with it. So possibly and get away with it is not good enough.
Well, it's a rumor. The whole article is a rumor. So, of course, I'm going to say possibly. I'm going to caveat that one.
Yeah, but get away with it. We don't want to get away with it. Do the right thing and make it 60 and stop.
Yeah, but are they doing that because of the size of the game?
Great. They can't. They physically can't. The technology isn't there. Like, the current gen consoles don't have the power, man. You can't pull a rabbit out your arse.
Yeah, if you're playing on the original Xbox, yeah, I could see that. But come on.
You can do that.
That's why the PS5 Pro is rumored to have.
But not everybody's going to buy a PS5 Pro except you.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
no, you guys
seriously.
don't have it. I have the Pro. You're damn right. I don't have the Pro.
Yeah,
It's
and I
always on the
understand that,
best.
but most people aren't. So don't make it 30. Lock it
But
at
if
60.
they don't make it 30, it'll be a janky mess. You'll
Lock it
see
at
screen
60.
tearing.
Lock it at 45. Anything but 30.
Gray, you don't have a clue how games work in performance, do you, my man? That's not how it works.
I don't care. It's ridiculous in this day and age. It's ridiculous.
Screen tearing is horrible, and yes, you can mitigate it so much on console. Of course, you can. Basically, what you should really be doing is blaming the guys that make the consoles.
Well, yeah, whatever. Whoever is supposed to get the blame, that's fine. I agree with that. Actually, what should happen is we need to get a hold of the Lossless Scaling guys and see if there's any way they can put something like on a USB stick and then you just stick it into the console and 2, 3, 4 times.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they'd love that. A closed ecosystem opened up for USB attacks and spam and malware. And yeah.
Well, it's a software solution. I'm sorry they can figure it out.
What they do is called PSSR. They've got PSSR, which is a software solution that runs on the Pro model. So they do that.
But Lossless Scaling sounds so much better than Pisser. But anyway.
Yeah.
Lossless
so they're
Pisser.
Taking the Pisser.
Lossless Pisser.
Yeah.
Actually, Lossless Scaling, if you think about it, well, I haven't been able to scale up in a long time.
That's an age thing, Gray. Don't worry about it, mate. You're fine. We'll all be there eventually. So yeah, it kind of sucks, but we knew that would be the case because it's a first-player game, first and foremost, story-driven. They want the experience. They want the story to be rock-solid performance and not dip. I will get it on the Pro, of course.
All I got to say is Jankovision. That's all.
Not if it's locked at 30, because it should be smooth. It would be Jankovision if it wasn't locked, because it would be like up and down.
It'd be locked at 30. Okay, let me ask you a question. If you lock something at 30, is it impossible to drop below 30?
Yes.
Okay, so if something else is happening that really wants to bring it down below 30, something's going to suffer, is it not?
No, they will test the game to make sure it runs at 30, so there is no dips below 30. They will lock it. That's why. So, for example, realistically, that game could maybe run at 40, 45 frames, right? I'm picking a random figure out. It'll go up and down depending on various circumstances. They will just go, screw this. We'll take it down to 30, so we've got that extra overhead for the bits that are heavy. It'll be smooth. Yeah. It'll be smooth. For the bits that are heavy, they've got that extra 10, 15 to play with.
Look, if you're on a PC, you would never say 30 frames is smooth. You just never would.
No, but that wouldn't happen when it comes out in PC. It'll be 60 minimum, won't it?
No accepting it in a console anymore. None.
Well, that's the difference. So this is why I don't mind consoles as long as PC. Like I love it all. I love it all. You boys are just like, yeah, it's just.
I don't know if I can wait another 2 years to play GTA 6.
Oh, that's another
whole story. Buy it for the bloody PlayStation.
I haven't got one of them.
That's a you problem, isn't it?
You can always give me
one.
Come
on, that's awful to sit there and make people have to wait that long to get it on PC. That's really that's just dumb, man.
It is, but the money maker for them is console.
That's not the point. The point is that I get it if it was a small developer, fine. But you're talking about them. We went over this on a past podcast of how much they make. They make gobs and gobs and gobs and gobs of money. Yeah. They can easily sit there and go like, let's put it right out on PC without shrugging their shoulders.
And the port is always kind of messy as well.
No,
on top of it.
You have to make another version of it, and you've got two solutions for that. Make it themselves, Rockstar.
No, you go to Nix's.
Port it out to another, or give it to another company. If you give it to another company,
Nix's will do it.
You can't be sure of the performance, and you need to pay them a good bit of cash. Or you make it in-house, and you could make it in-house, but that requires more people and more time and more money.
You have to throw some cash to port to PC. Oh, I feel so bad for them. I'm just, I mean, they already made $50 billion, but of course, you lose a little, you're not going to notice it, man.
I don't think
they have the same price.
I don't think they have the spare personnel to do it, man. I think knowing the guys at Rockstar North in Edinburgh, they're probably all still bloody drunk. You just hire
Nix's. Nix's is one of the best porters ever. Just hire them and tell them to do it.
Maybe they're full. Maybe their hands are tied with the PlayStation upgrades that they do.
You need to work for them. You're coming up with every freaking excuse for these
Maybe he does. See, this is why it's not PlayStation. They get it to him.
The difference is I'm in the middle. I can see both sides of the divide. You two, especially Gray, can't. You're just firmly PC specs are on, and that's it.
Out of all the good points I just made, okay, now also add on to the fact that they're going to sell the game for a lot more money than they should be, and that just gives them more billions of dollars that they're not going to give to Nixon to port the PC.
You don't know how much. You don't know how much
Dude,
you're going to charge.
Come on,
that.
They're going to soak us for whatever they can. They're going to soak you.
Yeah. Ifs and buts and pots and pans, we don't know.
It's always been full price. on PC when they've done the port.
Yeah,
so.
and it should be.
No, I'm
it
just
should
talking
be
about
good
the. I'm just talking
value.
the console game is going to be more expensive too. You
Well,
watch.
Yeah.
Someone actually said, boys, that there was, again, just rumorville, that the multiplayer and the single player game will be 2 games. Will actually be 2 games. I think that's a small
2
rumor. I don't
games?
think it'll happen. So
Oh,
it'll
no.
come out as
Cyber
GTA,
Merchant got a
the
good
massive
point.
multiplayer, the massive map that you play as a story campaign, and then they bring out the online element as a separate game.
Mercy
I don't
said
think that'll
100
happen.
pounds. We were talking about that last week.
Nah, Mercy, nah, I can't see it, mate.
Well, you know what it is? It'll be 100 pounds if it includes the multiplayer option.
So right now it's 70 for a brand new game and for console in the UK, right? $80 in the States. They might increase it by the 10, like to raise the bar, like we discussed in the previous podcast.
Oh, they will.
Might do that. They might bring out even the £100 special, but it'll be like the digital deluxe
It'll be
kind of
the
thing.
deluxe, yeah. Where
And I can
art.
never be arsed with that stuff. I never pay for that stuff anyway. So I mean, like
Yeah.
what? Like here's a if they bring out a collector's edition of GTA, right? So you need some kind of model or something. What would it be? Like a bottle of booze? Would it be a syringe, a needle? What would it be?
Free
then?
drugs.
No,
yeah.
it's one of the girls coming to visit you. That's what it is.
yeah.
Would it be a little car at the side of the road that just shakes up and down? I remember the top-down versions of GTA used to do that. Not anymore. They wouldn't get away with that.
I'll tell you what they're going to do. They're going to charge you $70 for the game, and then they're going to charge you another $70 for the the online co-op and multiplayer. There you go. They're going to make $140 off of us.
I think, to be fair, I think it'll still be the same price.
Monthly
I reckon
sub.
it'll be 70, maybe 80.
Now remember,
I reckon it'll still
my prediction on the Nvidia cards was spot on. So my prediction for this is they're going to charge $75. Watch.
I'd still say about 80.
Coming, 75.
Gray, did you put the caveat in though when you were doing the cards of it? Only I was talking about the FE card being a certain price.
Yeah. I understand, but
the price you were talking about was partner card prices.
I know that, but because the FE card is not realistic, most people can't get a hold of them.
Yeah, they've only had like a limited amount of them.
So I just did you see the prices? Did you see the prices in our friend sent us some prices in Belgium and other places? Oh my god!
Yeah, I saw those.
They're expensive as hell.
The guys in the EU do get shafted a lot more.
I mean, I understand that they have to include the VAT and all that stuff, but regardless, I mean, it was unbelievable. It was so expensive.
Scythe was saying there, Rockstar did say that they wanted GTA 6 to be a monthly base sub. I mean, they could only get away with that if it's for the online element, in which case that's fine, because that's instead of you paying for the shark cash or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd be interested in that. We'll see.
I don't see how it works, because you pay for the PSN on top of what you have already, so that should be like a part of that.
Yeah, I can't see that being a thing.
So watch this, Matt. It's going to be $75 for the game, another $75 for the online componment, and then a monthly charge after that of $20 a month.
You don't have to pay it. You don't have to pay it. Nobody's making you buy it. You have a PlayStation anymore anyway.
The problem is whoever buys the game is not going to be able to afford to ever buy another game for a couple of years.
Yeah, and you thought Star Citizen was bad. There you go.
Jansen's saying there, with the value you get out of a GTA game, £100 would be too bad because you'd still be playing it in 10 years. I mean, that is another way of looking at it. If you have the online included by default and it doesn't take an hour for it to load up and you don't have 10 million cheaters on it.
Yeah, but you will.
The PC version you will. PC, you can't get that for the console.
I played Division 2 for 3 or 4 years, so hey, I got my money out of that. But I don't. I can't.
It won't be £100 unless it's a digital deluxe version. But hey, we'll see. We'll
75.
see. If bookies are taking odds in this,
75.
I put a bet in that, and I'm not a betting man. Anyway, right, we'll get a bit more going still. Not loads of time. So no surprise. NVIDIA RTX 5080 reviews are out, and they are shite.
Yep.
Hashtag NVIDIA are shite. I was really wanting to get one, but I slept in. Kind of glad I did, because there was like probably 10.
I'm so happy you didn't go out and buy it anyway. I was going to go like, don't do it, Trev.
Even if I had upgrade, I would have just flogged it on and got my money back or more because they sold out. So I wouldn't have lost out, you know.
That's another sucker.
So people are basically saying paper lunch. because they brought out so few models. Now, the 5090s were selling out in no time. There was some micro centers in the States that somebody would call them up and be like, "Have you any in stock?" And the guy would be like, "Yeah, we've got one."
And then 900 people come down there. Oh!
I swear to God,
like a bidding war.
The whole stock of 5090s in the States were in the hundreds, the low hundreds for the whole of America. I don't know if that was the micro centers altogether or all the shops, but even if it's just the micro centers, that's still ridiculous. 5080s, low thousands, it's not enough. It's a paper launch, and they've done this because of the tariff situation. They're trying to beat it, so that they should have launched it later, but they're trying to get as many of them flogged as they can before possibly Trump brings in the tariffs. So I kind of don't blame them, but it is a paper launch, boys. The 5080s are poor.
You brought up a good point. So GTA will cost $75, and then when the tariffs kick in, it'll be $190.
Oh, you guys are screwed. Like you guys will be out. You guys will be out selling yourselves on the street, trying to get enough money together to buy these cards. You guys you'll be worse than bloody Hans in Belgium. There, you'll get.
I'll give you guys my Cash App details later.
Yes, we can send one over. Like it'll be prohibition again, man, but for GPUs.
Yeah, that's it.
Word. Oh yeah, yes, a very good point, Scythe. I'm glad you brought it up. It's a kind of sidetrack, but word on the street is that 5090s are bricking. Yes. Not surprised. All that bloody power.
Oh, what's his name? J2 Cents just recently did a video where he said that the software for the 5090 is pure crap. He says this is one of the worst launches NVIDIA's ever done. The software and drivers involved with it are
the
ridiculous.
Drivers could be
wrong. They're bad.
Yeah, they've updated their whole launcher thing as well on Experience.
Yeah, the NVIDIA app.
It is messy.
Basically, right, the 5090 is a good bit better. So if you've got the money, buy one of them, because it is, like, in terms of raster performance, is good, but you're paying double the 5080. The 5080 is, on average, like 5% give or take better than the 4080 Super, not the 4080, because that was a whole separate shenanigans. And that's ridiculous for a gen-on-gen upgrade. Ridiculous. It's such a small upgrade. I'm interested in the raster performance. Like, DLSS is great, and you know, Gray will get to, if we've got the time, certainly talk about the little tricks of hacking it, so you can try and get DLSS 4.0 to be running on older stuff.
Yeah, we kind of covered it a little bit before, but
we'll be sticking to our current cards, I think, for a good while, guys, because they're going to improve a little bit as well if they haven't already with the latest drivers from NVIDIA. They did say you'll be able to run what you run at the moment, but with less overhead, therefore being able to push them a bit harder. So I don't see the point in upgrading. It's such a poor, and you won't get them back in stock. Like overclockers in the UK, 4 to 6 weeks for 5080s. 5090s, you're looking at April maybe before they get them back in. I heard a big stock.
I heard by the time the 50 series comes in stock, the 60 will be out.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. At least you get the 5090 a little bit cheaper then.
Side note, Trav, do you want me to go straight to the quiz? Because we could. I know we're going to be coming up on time eventually.
We have 18 minutes or so. So, I mean, that's. I don't want to spend too much
time. So if you need a new card.
Because I can hold off my other news for next week, so we can do the quiz.
We still have a bit of time, mate. We've still got like 18 minutes or so. I mean, the only reason we stick to time is because we split it in half our TikTok. So, not great. We do have a little bit more time for some news, unless Matt wants to talk about Kingdom Come Deliverance, but it's up to you two.
I was going to say that for next week, because if
you want,
I put it in next week already.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Just even if you get through some of your news, Greg, just go for it.
Throw some in.
All right.
He's just scared of losing the quiz, so
we're going to go back to Ubisoft, but not talking about money things that their troubles are having. But essentially, they've been name dropping the next game, which is Assassin's Creed Hexe.
Another one.
That'll be the game after the Shadows, but this is going to be
messing up with that one. Oy.
Well, here's the thing with this game, though, is this is going to be the first one that's going to be premiering on their new launcher, which is going to be coming out relatively soon. And their new launcher basically is, remember when we were talking before about, they were saying about bringing back the Animus, and I'm sitting there going, no, don't do that. I don't care about the Animus. So what they did apparently is they're calling the launcher is the Animus now.
So,
but when I think about it, it's going to be called the Animus Hub. That's okay. Oh, I get it. Okay, cool. So, but
what was wrong with their old launcher? There was nothing wrong with their old launcher.
Keep it there and don't put it in the game is fine because they're moving more towards live service and also moving everything into one house, so to speak.
I don't even have the old launcher, man. I think I removed Uplay or whatever it's called completely now.
Yeah, they changed theirs recently already anyway, didn't they? Or was it last couple of years ago they changed it anyway?
Yeah, they did, yeah. It's Ubisoft Connect, I believe, right now. That's what I have. Yeah. But anyway, the Animus Hub, though, is going to be for every Assassin's Creed game from Origins and beyond. Nothing earlier. Earlier, you play it the old way or whatever, but they're not going to be messing with it. So basically, when they launch the new launcher, they want to have Hexe be ready for that new launcher. Possibly the new launcher will be ready before then. So that'd be kind of cool.
Their launcher is quite janky, so are they going to fix any of the stuffs there? Because I remember trying to go into the store or doing something, and it used to just play up all the time.
I couldn't answer on that one.
Yeah.
They are going ahead with the Assassin's Creed Jade, which is only meant for mobile, and it's going to be the scenery is going to be China this time. I don't know. I don't really care because the mobile to me is anyway.
Yeah.
But that's me.
Yeah.
So in any case, that's a little bit of the newer news of what's going on. In the future, they plan on making a big multiplayer Assassin's Creed game, and right now the code name is Invictus. So Assassin's Creed Invictus, which will be this multiplayer.
Invictus.
Well, they say I don't know. Invictus. Yeah, not Deckard. Invictus.
Get the Dictus.
You just got that one now. The only thing that's cool, or if they actually do this, is they said the multiplayer version you're going to be allowed to play almost any character you want from all the other games. So if you want to be, the guy from Origins or from the Viking from Valhalla or whatever, you can go ahead and play those characters in the multiplayer game. But this is going to be some time before that's coming out, years from now. Anyway.
Okay.
So I said they tarnished the Uplay name and need to name a new name. Yeah, well.
They need to do something. Yeah.
Yep.
Just call them U-Shite.
Yeah.
Instead, man, that's a lot better.
You gone, right. You never there.
Yeah. You what?
If you get a better name for a launcher, just put it in the comments and we'll pass it along to Ubisoft. They love us.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they'll be listening to us.
You don't play. You jank.
Yeah.
You jank. That's even better. That's a definite.
Need you money.
You jank. I love it. I like that one. Anyway, we should go into the quiz because we haven't done the quiz in like 3 weeks or more.
Yeah, we still got loads of time. Don't worry. Calm down, man.
Well, that's fine. I don't want to rush. I don't want to rush through it because it's fun to do this.
Yeah.
All right. Count good.
Do it.
Yes.
Okay. If you want to save some of your news, you can do that, my man. That is your right as an adult, as an American. Like you do that.
Well, it has to be signed
as a citizen of
Trump.
the world.
The Trump's Accord. Yeah.
Now.
Right. Okay. So we'll do the old quiz then.
Right.
No problem at all.
All right. Question 1. We haven't done this in a while, but here we go. In which Assassin's Creed? See. In which Assassin's Creed game do you parkour through Baghdad during the Islamic Golden Age?
Mirage.
Ding, 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 ding. Very good. We knew Trev was going to get it. So
it's the only one I haven't played.
Oh,
so.
what? You already gave me a feckin' chance, but you're right. I wouldn't get it because I don't play Assassin's Creed.
Okay, now we're going to get a little harder. What color is the A button on the standard N64 controller? The one you press to jump into action.
Green.
You done this one. You done this one last time.
Did he?
Remember, we done one question.
No, that was a different button. This is the color.
Oh!
Green. What color is the A button on a standard N64 controller, the one you press to jump in action? What is the color?
Green.
Last time you asked what the other button was, like yellow.
Yeah.
Right? I think it's green as well. I have to concur with that one.
The what?
Red is white, isn't it?
I think it has to be green. Yeah.
Green? You're both saying green?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's blue.
Oh. Scythe, you're wrong. Come on now.
What's that, Scythe?
Oh,
red.
You went ahead with Scythe and believed him, right? Oh,
Mm.
Jansen said red, so you're wrong too.
Yeah, let the
red.
guys the guys try and answer as well.
I don't think it was
Try and
blue.
answer as well.
Wow.
There's one more question anyway, so you
What?
can get that wrong with everyone else as well.
One more
Don't worry, it's plenty
question.
of time.
It helps if you're a World of Warcraft fan, but in any case, in World of Warcraft, what is the name of the faction led by Thrall? Again, in World of Warcraft, what is the name of the faction led by Thrall? Anybody?
Earthen something.
Earthen something?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Any guess there, Trev?
Go on. Earthen's all I can think.
Yeah,
Earthen Realms.
Orcs? No.
I guessed the right
orc
answer.
One. Got an orc.
Earthen Realm.
We got Earther something, whatever Matt said, and we got orcs from Scythe. Jansen is Gary.
You play.
He did.
You play, yeah, you play. You jank. All right, nobody. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, the answer is the Horde.
The Horde. But they're not called the Horde. They're called Evan things, aren't they?
I never played World of Wankers.
I did, but only the old one when it first came out. The first
Yeah.
couple of them, and then after that, I stopped.
What do you mean the old one?
When
The
they first,
original.
when it first came out, it wasn't in multiplayer online. It was a disc.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and I played the
okay,
first
okay.
2 or 3 versions of it when it first, came out or whatever, and then I never went back to it. I liked it then.
Interesting.
But, I didn't like what it
okay.
became. There really is no good, regular campaign versions of World of Warcraft much anymore. And that's what I liked. They had the single player campaigns that were really good way back. It looks Scythe goes Horde. Yeah, thanks, Scythe.
That's my answer.
That's right. I changed it. Scythe. I see. Here's his excuse. He got the question mixed up. He was thinking of race. Okay.
That's a you problem.
Yeah.
That's
a good name for the launcher. You problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ray was shitting
Your
himself.
problem,
We still had 10 minutes spare, but I
Okay.
think he was. I don't know. He was past his bedtime or something. So no, we will probably wrap up there. To be fair, guys, better keeping it under the 2 so we can make sure the TikTok peoples get the podcast as well. We'll be back next week as normal, of course. Thank you to my lovely assistants here for stepping in with us. Thank you to people that tuned in. Gray will have the shiny version up over the weekend, the video edit, and the audio edit later tonight, our time. So until then, guys, I guess you just really need to say goodbye to the people.
Yeah.
Goodbye, you jank.
That's it. Yeah.
That is not very nice. Come on.
Wait a minute. It could have been worse. I could have said bye, you wank. That would have been worse.
All right,
You jank
here,
isn't
man.
so bad.
You
guys are going to get shut down. I'm telling you.
Don't forget to put your questions in if you ever have any.
Everybody dance. I can sing, anybody can.
Yeah.
I'm gonna force
You play suck.
the entire song. It's gonna fade out. We'll still be singing it. We can actually hum this thing. We know it really well.